You don't have to eat like slaves anymore because we're not slaves.
If you cannot control what you eat, then you cannot control what you feel.
Eat your largest meals in the middle of the day, not the end of the day.
What part the homeostasis plays, you're on your way to healing yourself. The homeostasis is the internal environment where your body is at its ultimate functionality for healing. Just keep in mind that everything that is happening to you is happening for you.
Hello, and happy Saturday to everyone. I am Carolyn Gentle, and you're in the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. And today's topic is the effective use of herbs. We're talking about herbs today and how we can effectively use them. So if you have not already, please share the live. We are actually pre-recording live, but just know that Dr. Zarif and I will be in the comments with you, looking at the live as well. So it is a pre-recorded live, but go ahead and share the live. We are going to live stream out on Facebook and YouTube. So go ahead and share it. Again, the topic is the effective use of herbs. So we already know this is going to be a really good one. So go ahead and share it out. Dr. Zarif, go ahead and join me here on stage so we can get the party going.
And a wonderful morning to you, afternoon to some people, and thank you very much for being here and those people that are just getting up. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Care. This is going to be, just like you said, exciting. We're going to talk about some of the things that you probably have heard before, but they are things that you also need to hear again. Because remember, as we go over these things over and over and over, we are normalizing the thoughts of them, the ideas. So when we're thinking about these things, it's not normal to think about that now because we haven't done it enough. So let's see if we can make this a normal habit. I'm going to talk to you about the effective use of herbs and their names and what do they do and those kinds of things. Some of the things I'm going to have to forego because there is so much information about herbs. It's just not possible to do it in 1 hour. So we're going to give you some of the things, and including the name of the plants, the names that are used in the markets in which we shop in, the different health food stores, the different places that just specifically sell herbs. We're going to give you that information. I have a whole book on herbs. It's going to be out in 2024 and 2025 rather, and it's going to be a very, very wonderful explanation of these many years of studying herbs and learning from the best. It's going to be awesome. So welcome for those of you that are here again. Be sure that you tell a friend because we're going to do this thing and we're really, really happy that you're here to do it. Before we get into that, we want to say hello to Carolyn. Carolyn, you look nice and you look very healthy. Actually.
Well, thank you. Maybe because tomorrow's my birthday.
Oh, tomorrow is your birthday. All right. Well, that's a good reason to be ready and looking great for it.
Yeah.
Good. Well, that's beautiful. So that's September the 22nd.
Yes, it is.
And there it is. Everybody turn on your lights while you're driving today in celebration of Carolyn Gento in the house. This is going to be a very beautiful explanation of, she's going to be in a state of Thanksgiving because I know she's happy to do and be and feel those things that she's experienced in her life. So welcome and happy birthday ahead of time. All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get going with this. Now, first, I want to let you know that some of the things that I'm going to teach you about are going to be they're in this form. So when you see these on the shelves, this is, when I say ginger, for instance, that's what this is, but it's ground ginger in a cap. But I'm going to also show you some of the photos of how these plants look so that you can connect with the plant. Is they aren't just a capsule, it's a powder in the capsule. Okay. All right. So shall we? Let's go ahead and get going here. We are going to start with I want you to look at the herbs here, because these herbs are the powerful herbs that I'm speaking about when it comes to how effective they are. Now, some you can't, like all of them are dry, and some are drying, but these are some of the ways that the plants look before they're ground down to a powder, and then they're actually in one of these bottles. They're in the bottle, and usually they're in caps, and the capsules usually contain about 420 milligrams per capsule. The capsule is usually a number 2 capsule. There's different sizes of the capsules. Some are larger than the others, but nevertheless, usually it's the number 2 capsule. And you can find out more information by searching that. Now, when we talk about the different herbs, the natural products found in the herbs are highly diverse, and some of them may have beneficial effects, while some of them can be very, very dangerous to humans. So often the combination of the phytochemicals found in herbs, they work synergistically. That means that they work together. The combination is more important than them working apart, or eating those, and you're ingesting one and then you're drinking water behind it, and then looking forward to the results of it is more. It works synergistically, so it works with the presence of other food. So keep that in mind as I present to you. There'll be much that is not known about the chemical and the pharmacological properties of the herbal preparation. So don't think that what I'm sharing to you is all there is to know about herbs, because it's so much more than that. There's a need to know which compounds are responsible for the observed effects, and if they demonstrate the synergy, this is what we want. This is what we're getting out of it. But it's the understanding of what herbs mix with other herbs, and what herbs augment the powers of another herb. And sometimes we want to say, oh, you have too much of that. Is there a herb that you can help to cut that effect? Like if the person is just too sleepy after taking kava, that is something that you need to know. Or if you are transitioning from a powerful laxative to a more mild and then a very basic laxative to help regulate your bowel movement. All of these things are very important when it comes to the use of herbs. Now, in the introduction to the phytochemistry, we began with this section of medical chemistry of the herbs by understanding the intrinsic properties of plants. Now, plants are known good sources of pharmacologically active compounds. So pharmacologically is, of course, pertaining to the pharmaceuticals and the medications that are made from some of these plants. And the pharmacologically active compounds and lead structures. That's what we're going to go over today. You'll find that you may hear some words that you haven't heard before, but nevertheless, we keep going. Don't get caught up on what you don't know. It is about you extrapolating as much as you can so that you will know even more. Now, when it comes to the artemisinin, artemisinin. So the artemisinin is an example of an anti-malarial lead compound and is derived from plants. Now, the anti-malarial, you probably heard that word, malaria, which is the shots that you get when you're going over to Africa, and it is a disease that can be contracted in parts of Africa. And this, the artemisinin is an example of the anti-malarial lead compound derived from plants. The phytochemistry is a discipline at the interface of botany. Botany is the study of plants, and the chemistry. You know what that is, the study of chemicals. And that is the botany and the chemistry that is concerned with the identification and the study of chemicals derived from plants. It's all from plants. So let me give you an example. Here you have the different, like wood, fructosa, and you have the vita, trifolia. All of these, what are these? These are the botanical names. And when your food is broken down, let's take a ginkgo biloba. Now, ginkgo biloba, I don't think I have an example in here, but ginkgo biloba can come in just a little bottle like this, and it just has the capsules in it. Capsules are basically to make it easy for a person to swallow. A lot of water, boom, swallow it. Some people break the capsule open and use the contents, but ginkgo biloba has in it this active ingredient, or one of the active ingredients are the ginkgo select phytosome. And the ginkgo select phytosome is then broken down as it comes to this is the chemical right here, and then the liver takes over, and that's called the hepato. I'm naming something else. And when you hear the word hepato, that means liver. So like hepatic megaly, you probably heard that, it means fatty liver. So when you hear hepato or hepatic, that is referring to some action of the liver. Now, when you use these different plants, they're broken down to flavonoids, and you have the astragaloside, the extracts, the lignans, the polysaccharides, and all of these plants, these herbs are broken down where you can, or where our liver now can do more metabolizing of those particular nutrients and then distribute them throughout the body. Now we go on to phytochemistry. Remember, phyto means plant, chemistry is chemicals. So plant chemicals. That's what we're going over today. And the phytochemistry is essentially the study of phytochemicals. They are chemical compounds that are found naturally in plants. Now, there is another science or genre of science, which is pharmacognosy. Pharmacognosy. Now, pharmacognosy is a closely related field of phytochemistry. Pharmacognosy is the study of the medical compounds of natural origin. So in other words, this is the study of those medical compounds. When we start getting into using botany, you heard that word earlier, the study of plants, and then you heard the phytochemistry, the study of the plant chemicals. Now we're talking about the pharmacognosy. And again, the pharmacognosy is the study of the medicinal compounds of natural origin. And these natural sources include animals, it include microorganisms and plants. Lead compounds and pharmacological active compounds from the natural sources are described in various articles. But these disciplines, they help to inform our understanding of other subjects such as the pharmacology and therapeutics and lead drug discovery. See, I'm going to give you a lot of tongue twisters in here, and even when I'm reading them, my tongue get twisted too. But you will get used to that. And again, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So let's start off with, again, we're pretty much still talking about some of the phytochemicals. And certain phytochemicals, they give rise to the properties such as plant's color, plant's aroma or odor, or the biological effect when consumed. It is important to mention that the plants contain numerous different compounds, and their combination basically gives rise to properties. For example, the phytochemical and carotenoid pigment, lycopene. You hear me talk about lycopene a lot because it's so important to the health of our prostate, that is the men or males. Anybody that has a prostate, there can be, after especially the age of 40, there can be problems with the enlargement of the prostate. And that's called BPH, and that's benign prostatic hyperplasia. So back to the phytochemical and the carotenoid. That is again the plant chemical and the carotenoid. What do you hear in that? When you hear carrot, that is the orange or the reddish color that you see in these particular fruit and vegetables. Lycopene is responsible for that red coloration of fruit and vegetables such as watermelons, carrots, and tomatoes. Botany, there's a lot more, by the way, like if we go into papayas and other different types of squash, and there's just many foods that we don't commonly eat in America, but when you travel, it's so important to travel because you'll get so much cultural enrichment there. Now, botany, or botanically speaking, the tomatoes are considered as a fruit, but for culinary purposes, they're considered as vegetables. So, you have the chefs that cook with the fruit. And it's easy to remember this because tomatoes aren't sweet and sugary like maybe a peach or a pear or even a banana. So it's been used that way for years, and a lot of people do get into slicing up different foods together and experimenting. Now, I have heard even recently how many people think that it's not good to all vegetables you mix with vegetables, all fruit you mix with fruit. But there isn't like one thread of information that says, or any of the studies, like peer-reviewed studies, that has shown through any type of testing or investigation that when you eat food that is mixed, that you're going to get a derogatory result. So, and that goes all the way back to something that I'm very familiar with, and that's food combining. Now, these are disciplines that may help a person that is eating just, just eating without any consciousness of how the food is going to affect them. So to help that individual get a better grip on eating different food or large amounts of food, or if a person is addicted to sugar, if they are addicted to a certain drink, if alcohol or these kinds of addictions, then you can help them to break those addictions with these particular eating, these different eating lifestyles. And once you teach them the eating lifestyle, it doesn't mean that they have to stay that lifestyle for the rest of their life. It just means it gives them more balance and more management. It gives them more power to help to keep things balanced. So therefore you can result in having the best health that your body can have. So it's very important to know that. So let's get back to the lycopene being responsible for, remember, the red fruits and vegetables such as the watermelons, the carrots, the tomatoes. But botanically, the tomatoes are considered as a fruit. And we were just talking about how they're used by these beautiful chefs. Shout out to the different wonderful chefs that I know a lot of chefs, but a shout out for your wonderful work. Now, recall from the organic photochemistry that increased the conjugation generally feeds to the lowering of what is called the homolumal gap. Now, some of you might not know what that is, but it is actually the energy gap between the highest occupied and the lowest unoccupied electronic levels that's critical to the parameter determining the electronic, optical, redox, and the transport, which is electrical properties of material. And we talked about those electrical properties before, and we talked about why do some scientists and doctors refer to the body as being an electrical, we're electrical beings. And I explained that. So we'll be going back over there. And remember, you can also go and check out that at if you hear on live with on YouTube, the Dr. Farid Zarif channel, check it out. This is all about in updating you, giving you more inspiration. So we want to make sure that you're joyful about it. And then we also want to educate so that you'll have the knowledge to make better decisions. Let's move on to the next one. Now, we got enough here. Let me read the intro because I want you to understand exactly what you're hearing. Now, the herbs, when it comes to the herbs, this is the introduction to the medicinal chemistry of herbs. And herbs are no different when it comes down to all these other chemicals. Herbs are no different. Herbs contain numerous phytochemicals, and some of these may be pharmacologically active, and the herbs are any phytogenic. Herbs are any phytogenic substances used in foods. So this is the herbs can be used in cosmetics. They can be used in cooking. They can be used in medicine. So herbs are very versatile. With the increase of the popularity of alternative medicine, many herbal mixtures and concoctions have become available. Now, these usually contain an herb as an ingredient. Now, these mixtures are said to treat certain medical conditions. Now, here, even as we speak, we know that the advertisers, they often falsely market herbal remedies as non-drugs and free from chemicals. Now, this is not true. This is obviously not the case. Herbs are plant-derived drugs. So we got to know that. Remember, they're no different. They just have different properties. But the herbs are plant-derived drugs. And one must be very weary or defensive when you have that defense mechanism. Like, yeah, I don't know about that. Good, because that's what you should do before you just start taking some herb that is detrimental to you, and you just doing it because you heard it on some program. Okay, we're going to stop here. We're about the half-hour point, and we're going to bring the wonderful Carolyn back to the stage, and we'll continue in a few.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif, and thank you to everyone that's joined us here today. We are live streaming, pre-recorded on Facebook and on YouTube. So thank you all so much for joining us. If you have not already, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Dr. Farid Zarif. So thank you all so much. And we still have time to go ahead and share that live to others. I'm sure there's a whole lot more information that they can be able to come on in and get. So thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. It's just great information. Just herbs alone to me is something that I've known, growing up, knowing about. I'd hear my mom talk about bitters and, and then it'll be stuff that's mixed up in a jar or something like that that's set over that you can use as medicine and things like that. So it's always really interesting to hear about herbs and the way people use them and things like that. So it's great information.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that, because, all of us, anybody listening to me right now, are people that have these herbs are older than you. And they go back, they're older than your mother, and they're older than your mother's mother, and they're older than your mother's mother. I mean, this goes all the way back to days of when things were quite primitive on one level, but there was a lot of intelligence. And that's one of the things that when we study our history, or you study just world history, we'll find that intelligence has always been on the planet.
Right.
Some of us, we think that if we take what we know now and we went back in the day, we would just start running things. But there's always been these incredibly, very, very smart individuals that excel, and they're above the normal or the common knowledge. And they just really, really stand out. And those people, even way back there, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, were incredibly brilliant. Remember, too, that they didn't have a radio. They weren't there looking at a flat screen. They had other things that they were doing. And most likely these things were more productive. If we look at, for instance, Egypt, look at all of that. You have to be really, really have concentrated energy in order to accomplish these monuments, these sphinx, the pyramids that last throughout these centuries. And
Right.
People are still seeing this, and there's been all kinds of storms and floods and everything else, and they still stand.
Do you feel like that's great? Do you feel like we I don't want to say the word dumb, but that's the only thing that comes to my mind right now. Like, we've dumbed down since like now because, like the pyramids and just things like that. Like right now we're talking about herbs, but those things that existed back then, maybe it could be that it wasn't relayed, generation after generation, new generation coming up. And that's why we feel like we're just learning about some things, but they've been around for years. Or just like dumbed down, not wanting to learn it. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think that in that sense that we definitely can use our attention on more constructive things. And today there's definitely many, many distractions. But I think that in the last the report of those people like historians and other people that researchers have reported here as of today that we have in the last 50 years we have discovered more things in the last 50 years than if we accumulate and calculate all the other discoveries of people before us. So we are still very smart, and we're coming up, just think about it. The telephone. I'm just thinking about, like, look at the cameras that we're using, the light that we're using.
Mm-hmm.
Light has been here for a little while, but now we've done what? We've improved it, and we use it for different things. Light can be used to see your way through darkness, or it can light up the studio. So it's really, we are still brilliant. And there are many people that don't use their time in brilliant ways.
Yes.
They use those, they pretty much trash their time with a lot of entertainment and fun and all of those. That is a time and a place for everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a time and place for everything. So, yeah, I think that we're some of the smartest people on the planet, but we have to give ourselves the permission to behave in such a way in order for us to extrapolate more and to share more.
Right. All right.
All right, well, let's get back with it. I'm going to go over this, everybody, when it comes to this. We just went through that introduction and we talked about the different herbs that are no different, and they contain numerous phytochemicals. So let's start off with St. John's wort. Now, here we go. These are things that we heard of before. This St. John's wort is very important, and it should be something that you are under the care of a professional. Make sure that you speak to your PCP. More of your the primary care physicians are arming themselves with this kind of knowledge, so it's not like a big surprise to them anymore, because many people are using these supplements or these herbs. So St. John's wort is known for the treatment of mild depression. Is also known to treat depression and anxiety. Some people, for instance, can't go to sleep. So this is some people, for instance, are sleepy all the time, or some people are just depressed all the time. Well, St. John's wort is a very, very useful tool, if you will, when it comes to those type of maladies. St. John's wort contains many of the phytochemicals, and a select few that I'll just mention now would be the hypericin. Hypericin is one of the phytochemicals. Another is norothyronol, and then we have the camphorol. And all of these, the camphorol, the norothyronol, and then you have the hypericin. All of these are probably some of the phytochemicals that you haven't heard before, but they are in that plant, and that's what makes that plant effective. Next, I want to go to garlic. Now, you've probably heard of this Allium sativum. The Allium sativum is the garlic, or is the plant, or the edible plant, and it's one of the most widely used herbal substances on the planet, especially when it comes to cooking and when it comes to medicine, because garlic is known for its the phytochemicals and the organosulfur. The organosulfur is one of the compounds that is found in garlic. And one of the most notable ones is the cysteine derivative, and that's alliin. And alliin is, it contains the sulfazide. Sulfazide is like, this what we smell, or the aroma from the sulfur, and is very useful to us as it releases the just like the garlic, it releases enzymes to help break down food and other great benefits. A lot of powers of onions and garlic. Onions, just like garlic, is it releases what is called the alliinase. Alliinase is an enzyme, and you usually hear on the end of these like protease, carbohydrates, lipase. Well, the allium, that's the first part, alliinase enzymes, when their tissue is damaged, this is a lot of times when you break the onions or cut the onions up, you can smell it, and it can cause, like the watering of your eyes and all that. But the allicin, and the allicin is like, I have a family member, Allison Gento, as a matter of fact. Hey, shout out to Allison Gento, Mr. Allison Gento. The allicin is the organosulfur compound that mainly is responsible for the distinct odor of garlic. So when you smell that garlic, that's the organosulfur compound. So you can remember organ for organic. So the organosulfur compound, and is responsible for that odor. Now the allicin is known to have some anti-protozoal, antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral activity. The garlic is claimed to treat numerous medical conditions. However, some of the claims, they just lack concrete evidence. And that's what's very important. Next, I'm going to talk about aloe vera. Aloe vera comes in a bottle like this, see? And this is 100, I believe this is 100 milligrams. But this is a 32-ounce bottle, and this is a dark bottle because aloe vera can be very sensitive to heat, and it can be very sensitive to light. So the aloe vera plant, colloquially known as the wand of heaven. And it is an example of a plant that's used in herbal medicine. The plant is popular in alternative medicine, and while many of the proponents of the alternative medicine claim that aloe vera plant has medical properties, currently there's little scientific evidence. However, there is a very wonderful, I'll have it next time. I don't have it with me now, or it'll take me time to locate it. But they have a wonderful studies on aloe vera, especially the whole leaf aloe vera. Whole leaf aloe vera is known to be very, very helpful, especially even in some cases of very serious diseases. The leaves of a plant contain a compound such as the anthrones. Anthrones are, these again are some of the components of aloe vera, and the anthrones, along with the anthraquinones and the acetylated mannans, these may be part of many of these the phytochemicals that are currently being investigated to show if they truly possess pharmacologically or pharmacological activity. With this type of activity in mind, let's continue our analysis of the medicinal chemistry of the herbs by looking at one of the most famous examples of foxglove. And I don't know if you've heard of foxglove before, but foxgloves are the Eurasian, or like the Europe-Asian, so the Eurasian plants of the genus digitalis. Now, these herbal preparations of the foxglove were formerly used by herbalists to treat heart conditions. The use has ended because of the narrow therapeutic index of preparation. Cardiac glycoside, or it's called digoxin, is one of the active principles extracted from certain species of digitalis. So look up that. This is really excellent. It's not used, or people are very careful about just saying this is good for your heart health, because again, having the evidence and the studies, and it costs money to explore and to examine these particular herbs, but we're doing better every year. We get better and better with that. Licorice root, or licorice, is spelled differently, like it might spell different in Europe than it is here. But the licorice is the herbal product derived from the root of the plant, and it's usually called licorice root. A lot of people use this Glycyrrhiza glabra. Glycyrrhiza glabra is the plant is perennial, and that means that you'll see it every year. It comes back and is found in the Mediterranean region and some parts of Asia. Licorice has been documented in ancient Chinese writings and is actively used in the Roman Empire. The herb contains like compounds such as sugars and the triterpenoids. Also, the glycyrrhizin is a steroidal triterpene, and that triterpene is a glycoside. So the triterpene glycosides is another one of the active ingredients in licorice root. And all of that combination, the root of the plant contains up to 9% of this phytochemical. So the steroidal triterpene glycoside, this is in the licorice root, and that delicious smell. It doesn't, it smells so good, but we know it as coming up as children that it is they make candy, a licorice candy, which is nothing like the plant itself, and making the different decoctions and concoctions with it. Now let's go on to valerian root. Now, valerian root is another, this is a perennial angiosperm that has a characteristic of a sweet aroma. Now, the plant is native to Europe and certain parts of Asia, but has been introduced and cultivated in North America. So we grow it here. The plant is known to have sedative effects. So people that have problems sleeping, they take valerian root. I would say anybody taking this, you should start off with a very small amount to see if this is something that you can take without any interruption of your sleep and your resting cycle. But better than that, make sure you check first with your primary care physician, because it might be something that your questions pertaining to this should be, specific to the practitioner, so that they can give you specific answers, or you can give you specific answers to general questions. So this is super important. The valerian include the valepotrioate, and the valepotrioate and these are some of the acids and some of the active ingredients. So the valerianic acid and I have to break these things down. The valepotrioate is very active in this is what actually puts us to sleep. So, I'm chopping up some words here, but forgive me for that. But the show goes on, and we got to keep going. So I'm going to do just run through these. Ginseng, the same thing, and then you have vervain, the same thing, and then you have wolfbane. I want to go here because I know most people haven't heard of vervain, and vervain is also verbena, and verbena is commonly known as vervain. And this is a genus of perennial and annual. These what are called angiosperms. They're used as herbs. Now the monoterpenes and the sesquiterpenes are some of the main phytochemicals. So you have monoterpenes, and then you have the sesquiterpenes. These are some of the active ingredients that make vervain work, and they're useful in the control of cancers. This is why I wanted to read this, is because talk to your oncology about how you can use vervain to help prevent or help to treat different cancers. However, again, there's no scientific evidence to prove these claims, but you might have some doctors that have worked extensively with herbs and may be able to assist you with your request, or one that you're looking for, that you think might work. And then you have like wolfsbane. Now, wolfsbane plants they're herbaceous plants that are mostly found in the mountainous regions of the northern hemisphere. Now, most of these species of wolfsbane are toxic. For instance, the roots of the Aconitum ferox. The Aconitum ferox contains a acetylcholinesterase inhibitor, and then you also have a pseudoconazole, and the pseudoconazole, also called nepeline. Despite the wolfbanes is being used in herbal mixtures, keep in mind that this can be very, very dangerous, and you don't want to use anything that might poison your system, okay? Because some of the species, meaning the different plants, different types of wolfbane, can be very toxic. Okay, you have feverfew, and this herb has been used for ancient times to alleviate fever, migraines, and arthritis. Feverfew. And then you have rhubarb. Now, rhubarb is also a laxative. It's rich in cathartic and laxative anthraquinones, such as rain,
and the emotin. And this is really important for you to know because there are chemicals in these plants. That's why we get the kind of result that we get. Okay, so I am going to bring it back up here. There's a few things that you want to keep in mind when it comes to a herbal medicine. Know that the herbal medicine will treat mild and moderate conditions. They start the treatment before taking conventional medicine. Other common uses include boosting the immune system, increasing the energy, losing weight, and enhancing the mood and improving sleep. So all of these are just some of the things that when we're taking the herbal medicine that we can expect. And that's along with treating the mild and moderate conditions that you may have on certain diseases or disorders, so forth. Start your treatment again before the conventional medicine. And again, a lot of them, they claim to boost the immune system, increase the energy, lose weight, mood, enhance your mood, meaning that you feel great, you feel good, you're not dragging along. So this is all wonderful. Okay, so we have now coming up on our closing. I'm so glad that you went through this with me, especially with all the huge words. Even, you know, if you've been in school for years and years and years, we still come up, if you're not using those words every day, just sound them out little by little, or you can just search for a pronounce and then put the word there. And then there are videos, and there are just little sound chips that'll sound it out for you. All right. So a person who takes herbal supplements depends on the form. So that the herbal supplements come in the forms of the capsules, the teas, powders, extracts, and fresh or dry plants. And a person that takes herbal supplements by swallowing them as pills, powders, and tinctures, applying them to the skin in gels and lotions, adding them to bath water, and drinking them as teas. Now, things like, remember too that your gonads will be exposed in water, so you want to make sure that you're going to use one of the supplement that isn't going to be an irritant to you while you're bathing. Now, I'm just going to just remind you that these are just some of the notes here, and remind you that plant-based products used to treat diseases or to maintain health are called herbal products, botanical products, or phytomedicines. A product made from plant sources and used only for internal use is called a herbal supplement. So there's a big difference. Botanical products or herbal products, sometimes it doesn't mean that just because they come from a plant that you can eat them. Some herbal plants are not meant for internal use or human consumption. Okay, so that's it for today. And thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. We'll go back through that, I'm sure, again and again. We had so many things. If we can, Kara, what I want to do here, I want to actually show people, I'm going to give you a real fast glimpse of some of these herbs, okay? Okay, so here is black cohosh. If you've never seen black cohosh, this is the way that it looks. Okay, this is a shrub-like plant, and this is just really wonderful. This refers to its root structure. Some plants like golden seal root, you have golden seal root and you have golden seal leaf.
And they have two, like golden seal leaf is known for helping in digestion, and golden seal root is known as a cure-all. So let's go to the next one, echinacea. Now, echinacea is known to increase the body's immune system to make it stronger, and it fights against colds and flu. You've probably seen this mixed with golden seal root and licorice root and some others. Then from here, we have, this is evening primrose. Now, if you've seen this and like, what the heck is that? Well, this oil is specifically used, if it doesn't have to be just oil, but if you're using this even as a peel or a capsule, it may be helpful to reducing some of the symptoms, the pain of arthritis, like especially osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis and premenstrual syndrome, which is PMS. Then we have fever. Few we talked about. This is good for migraine, headaches, and menstrual cramps. This is great to use, and this is how that looks. This is the wonderful garlic, and garlic is used for cardiovascular conditions. Garlic is also an antibiotic, using for infections. This is just super wonderful. It includes high cholesterol and triglyceride levels. So it helps to bring down the blood fat in the form of triglycerides and in cholesterol. And then we have, this is how ginkgo biloba looks before it's crushed. It's dried and crushed. And then this is ginseng. This is very good. And you have golden seal. This is how golden seal root looks. Green tea. Hawthorn berries. This is great. People use this for angina, which is, the angina is like a heart condition. So this is when we have heart health complaints, atherosclerosis, heart failure, and high blood pressure. Saw palmetto. This looks like a little tree, just like a palm. You see, saw palmetto. Palmetto, because it's a palmetto. So these little berries here are broken down, and they're taken in a powder form or through a capsule or peel. And this is how it looks before that. And this is great for those of us that have enlarged prostates. And this is especially for men over the age of 50. St. John's wort is the next one. And I'm going to go back here now. That is what we have for you when it comes to our herbs today. So, Kara, come on back up. And that was a lot of stuff, wasn't it?
It was a lot of stuff, but it's definitely information needed. So that was really great.
Great. Beautiful. Well, I think we got to there we go. Good. So, very cool. I think that we chose the right subject so we can go over this and discuss it. And I'm just like, again, get all that you can. Get all that you can. Even if you have a teacher, especially a legit teacher, and if they stutter, still write down what you can get from that. Use your time to do that. They may make a mistake in the pronunciation of, endometriosis. They might say endometriosis. Don't get caught up in the mistake. Get into what you can extrapolate from that. I've been a black man for all my life, except when I was a black boy. And I know that a lot of times we can be rough on each other. So I'm just saying that ahead of time, because I'll be the first one to say it's not easy, but it is possible. Okay. So keep that in mind, and take care of ourselves. I just went down a list of things, and I'm sure something out of those things can be used for somebody in your family, and you can learn more about it. If you need help with that, you simply go to drzarif.com and make an appointment. And then we'll talk about that problem to help your individual. Sometimes that individual has gone to church, not to church, but they have gone to different doctors, and they've gone through, well, my mind is in the right place, right? They've gone through different doctors, different clinics, different hospitals, and they are actually have, exercised, their choices, and they followed the instructions, but there always is a way. There always is a way. So don't give up on them. Let's keep on working so that we can help each other. Okay, Care?
Absolutely. Great information as always, Dr. Zarif. And thank you to everyone that joined us here in the Mind of Nature. Please remember to, you can also share this even after the recording, share it with someone that you know needs it. And remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Dr. Farid Zarif. Dr. Zarif?
Yes. Dr. Farid Zarif right there on YouTube. And the other thing that I want you to do is make sure that you subscribe. We need your subscriptions because this is the working language of what we're doing. We also need your likes. We're not shy to ask for them. We also need your likes. If you like what you hear and you want to continue to hear, you want to continue hearing us bring it to you, please reward us by your likes. By your subscriptions, become members, and so forth. So make sure you pay attention to that part. That's why everybody asks for it. It's really, really important. Okay, we're going to get on. I think Kara has something to say there.
Let's do one more just in case. We are live 8 a.m. PST every Saturday. Even if we're not here live, we are giving you a show every Saturday, 8 a.m. PST.
You're so cool. You're so cool.
I just had to make sure.
You ain't live.
But definitely, yes. 8 a.m. PST every Saturday.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend. And we will definitely see you next week. Yes. Same time, same place. Peace.